Actor, comedian, authority.
Authority.
Author. Oh, he's an authority. Good Lord.
Is he one of the authorities?
Are you an
I'm
authority?
from the authorities.
You used to be anti-establishment, the young ones. What happened to you, Adrian?
I'm playing a DCI at the minute.
I'm sorry, I don't know why I said you're an authority, although you probably are. I'm
an authority on some things that you probably can't mention on the radio.
Stoic philosophy, probably.
Stoic philosophy.
Be one
Beer.
of them. Beer. Excellent.
Yeah.
Good start. Also, MasterChef winner and
That's
one
true.
half of the greatest bottom of all time.
Ooh,
It's lovely
I
to
am a
have you
cheek.
with us. You're right, cheek. So let's talk about the book, Tilly and the Time Machine. You are venturing into the very crowded and competitive world of children's fiction
Yes.
with your book about a lovely little 7-year-old girl.
Well, I am, yes, indeed. It's a book about a little girl called Tilly, who you find out her mother has died quite soon on in the book. And her dad's a bit of a buttoned-up kind of guy and doesn't like talking about it. And he's also a sort of brainy scientist type, and he invents a time machine in his garden. And he gets her down there and he says, look, we can get anywhere we like. What do you want to do? Do you want to go back to ancient Rome, watch a chariot race, or watch the pyramids being built? And she says, no, I want to go back to my 6th birthday when my mummy was still here. Which sort of causes him a problem, and he kind of tries to get her to get back there, but he gets lost in time, and she follows him and sort of follows him through the Battle of Trafalgar and the 1966 World Cup final, and they eventually end up with Queen Victoria, and who famously celebrated the death of her husband with a very large monument that cost zillions of pounds. And Tilly says, well, I don't really want that. And the Queen says, yeah, I think I did go a bit over the top. And it's sort of, they come to a resolution of how they can remember her mum without, respectfully and without dwelling, not living, not wallowing in sorrow, but kind of, you come to an agreement, don't you, about how you talk about dead people.
Yeah. Like all the best children's books, it doesn't shy away from the dark subjects and the
I think
tragedy
kids'
in
books
life.
are the kind of area where you can talk about these things.
Yes.
It's bizarre.
Isn't it? And Roald Dahl as well, because she's plucky, as they might say.
Well, she's direct, yeah.
Yeah, she
she's
is.
You know, she has no cynicism. She has no kind of politeness either, particularly. She just tells the truth, which is kind of an idiot savant way to be, isn't it?
Must be refreshing to write that character, though.
Well, it's great. I mean, she's actually based on
Well.
someone who moved in next door to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I was going to say, because you have 3 daughters, so I was wondering if it's based on any of your daughters.
Well, no, they're all sort of grown-ups, but some friends of mine moved in next door, and
Yeah.
they've got 3 kids, 5, 7 and 9, and the girl is very kind of blunt speaking, and very, not in a kind of rude way. I offered her dad a beer once. I said, do you fancy a beer? And she said, oh, great. Now you're going to go and drink beer, and then you'll start laughing, even though no one said anything very funny.
Well, that's spot on.
I've kind of used that kind of attack so that she can talk about anything she likes,
There's something
without
to
anyone getting annoyed.
There's something to be greatly admired about
Yeah.
that kind of honesty that we lose for decades in our life, and then when we get
The second
older, we feel that we can be that honest again with people,
Yeah.
don't we? I mean,
Well,
you were the 6-0 this year, weren't you?
I was, yes. Though I still think of myself as a child.
Rightly so, Adrian. Rightly so. You should.
All throughout my life, people have decried my comedy as being childish, and now I'm thinking, oh, I wish I was still childish. Well, I still am.
Did you have a list of things to do before you were 60?
No, but I've sort of developed one since. Because I can feel. Oh, it's awful when you start to feel your legs go.
Really?
Yeah, my feet have started giving me jip, and I think there's some things I've got to do before my feet stop working.
Oh, no.
So
What
does
have
that
you got,
mean
arthritis?
Strictly Come Dancing?
I get the great comedy disease, gout.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
My mum has gout.
Yeah,
It's not nice.
It's not funny, is it?
No, it's incredibly painful.
It is, yeah. It feels like someone's broken your toes.
Oh, goodness. So what do you take for it? Is it pineapple juice? What is it again? that you
No.
talk about? I can't remember. Or hard
you
drugs.
take the same thing you take for heavy periods,
Oh, gosh. Which is what?
which is naproxen.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
And does it work?
It does, yeah. It does if you get the twinge. If you recognise the twinge early enough, and you
Right.
take naproxen, it stops the attack. If you miss it, it's three or 4 days gone
Oh,
of not being able to walk, of hobbling about.
Dear Aid. That's
It was one of the things on your list to do before you were 60 and now you're 60, be in a Star Wars film.
That's always been on my list, obviously. Yes, it is. Oh, if only I could be in one. That would be lovely. If I was in one, I would say, what a lovely experience.
Oh,
God, I would love that.
Did anyone else sense a tone there that perhaps suggested that he may have been offered?
Oh, I would love not to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
If only
that was about 300 times bigger than my part.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, well, we can't wait.
So, did your non-disclosure also say whether you'd filmed or not? You can't say.
It doesn't tell me.
It doesn't.
It doesn't tell me anything except shut up. Shut up about everything.
Shut up or die.
Don't tell anyone. Don't tell your mother.
And tell annoying interviewers, can we go somewhere else with this interview? Well, that's good. I think we have the revelation there that there is a non-disclosure signed.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm in Wolverine 12. I'm not sure.
What, the wolf with gout?
Yeah. The limpy wolf. I'm the limpy one.
with a bottle of port and some good cheese.
Yes. I say, my man, bring me some more Stilton and some port.
And a vampire, obviously.
It's not true now that only people that live the high life get gout.
No.
That's not true,
No.
is it?
No, it's
not.
not.
Fairly maligning
Yeah,
people
but
with
You
gout.
can get it from tomatoes.
I'm sure you spent more than 1 or 2 nights in Groucho over the years just to...
I've been there once. Yes. Full of unrespectable types, I felt.
The language of the snooker hall in there. Well, listen, we've really enjoyed reading the book. Stop it now, because I need to get him to read.
Of the posh werewolf that you just brought. Please let that be the next book, Tilly and the Posh Werewolf.
Oh, Tilly and the Time Machine is the book. It's out today.
It is. It's born today.
Oh,
this is its
that's a
birthday.
very special
I've only
moment.
recently come off the gas and air.
Congratulations. I hope you didn't
Well,
have too
thank
many
you.
stitches.
Yeah.
Now, would you read us some?
I'm going to read you a little bit. It's about
Okay.
a minute and a bit. This is a bit. Do you know that? Shall I tell people what happens?
Yes.
Yeah, please do.
That she goes off sort of through time, and she gets separated from her dad. And at one point, she's living alone in the house, a little 7-year-old, and a knock comes at the door. She opened the flap where the letters came through and peered out. She could see 2 raincoats and 2 pairs of hands. "Hello?" she said. Well, she didn't actually say hello. What she actually said was, because her mouth was full of jelly. She knew it was rude to talk with her mouth full, so she swallowed the jelly in one go and then said hello properly. The 2 men crouched down to look through the letterbox. They both wore suits and ties, and one of them had a very neat moustache. "Hello, little girl," said the man with the moustache. "I'm not little. I'm 7.5, and I'm average height for my age," said Tilly. "Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't quite tell how tall you were through the door. Is your father in?" "No." "Do you think we could come in and wait for him? We're from your father's work," said the man, getting a little piece of card from his pocket and handing it to Tilly through the letterbox. It read, "Her Majesty's Government Research Centre, Sir Digby Snottington, Head of Department." "Oh," she said. "Are you one of the complete idiots?" "I beg your pardon?" "My dad says that all the people at work are complete idiots." "Oh, he does he? Are you sure we can't come in and wait for him?" "Absolutely sure. My mummy said you should never open the door to strangers." "Oh, is your mummy in?" "No, she's dead," said Tilly. "She's in a box in a hole in the ground near the church, all covered up with mud and dirt."
Wow.
That's powerful stuff. And it's spoken in the voice of your next door neighbour.
Yes.
It's wonderful. Does your next door neighbour know that the book is about her?
Not really, no.
She does now.
Yeah. Well, she's moved away again.
Oh, has she?
Yeah.
Did you tell her dad?
I've got to have the conversation.
Okay, that's probably a good time to have that.
Yeah.
But listen, obviously not your first foray into writing. The Gobbler, way back in the 90s, which
20
was...
years ago, yeah.
So I mistakenly described as an adult novel earlier when I just
I know, it
was
sounds
trying to
like
differentiate.
It was a bit of an adult novel, actually.
But that was a great book. I really enjoyed
well,
reading
that's
that.
very kind,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, he was a great anti-hero, Julian.
Yeah, he was.
So, did you ever feel like resurrecting him, bringing him back again?
Do you know, I tried. That was on a 2-book deal, that book, and I've been trying for the last 20 years to write it, and it never got there. And then this one suddenly appeared, sort of very easily and quickly and rather charmingly. And so I've managed to do a deal where I've forgotten that I have to do the other one. So I'm just doing kids' books now.
And this is obviously the first of a few for Tilly.
No, it's
No, just one off?
I'm just planning one for Tilly. I've got another one nearly finished about a kid called Henry.
What is it that appeals to you about writing children's literature, and that it seems to flow out of you then more easily than for grown-ups?
I think the fact that I know who I'm writing for is one of the factors. And bizarrely, you can talk about adult matters more easily in a kid's book than you can in an adult book. Does that sound weird?
No, not at all.
Yeah, you seem to be... I mean, this one is generally... the subtext of it is about grief, sort of based slightly on my own experience of well, as you get older, quite a lot of people start dying around you. And I've noticed that people find it hard to talk to you about death. They're sort of embarrassed. So Tilly's father is one of those people who find it embarrassing to talk about death, even to their own daughter, So it's kind of based on that, which I think if I tried to write that in an adult context, an adult novel, it would come across as pompous. But somehow, with the voice being that of a 7-year-old child who speaks very bluntly, it's easier to do.
You just talked about loss and how you've seen it around you, and haven't we all? But we couldn't interview and not talk about Rick Mail,
no
of
one
course.
can, no.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, but with Rick,
Is he dead?
I believe so. I believe so.
I did try ringing
Although
him
not,
last
although
week, he
not,
didn't answer.
not in your heart and not in your mind. What was the funniest thing about him? Moments where you were just crying with laughter.
There was a moment which I don't know if it translates really. The writing process in a partnership can be fraught. It can be very joyous. We spent most of our big laughs ever in life with each other in a room, laughing at what the other one had just come up with. And there was one instance when we're both of a certain age as well, and so we knew a lot about the Boer War. I need to put that in.
You were tweeting from the Boer War live.
I need to put that in as a reference for this gag to work. We'd reached a stage in a script for Bottom where we were just stumped, and we sat there for about half an hour with nothing going on, and then the phone rang. This is in the days when you had a phone, and the phone rang, and Rick answered and said, "Mafeking." Which, if you know anything about the Boer War,
It's a relief of laughter.
it makes great sense, and I think I laughed for a week.
Superb. Well, listen, lots of people are texting about that. I mean, I guess that's understandable, isn't it? They do still associate you together, as it was. But I remember reading, and it did strike me as quite sad that he, there was always talk about you getting back together and working together again, but that you said you spent quite a few years having to say no, that's not what you wanted.
Yeah.
Why was that?
We sort of got to I think we did 5 massive tours of Bottom, and we got to the end of the last one, and I thought, I perceived a slight dropping off in quality, maybe 5% not as good as the one before. And I thought, well, that's the time to stop, because otherwise we're just going to look sad, like a couple of fat old sweaty people sort of reliving our youths. So I thought it was time to call a day on it, and he didn't agree, but then he couldn't, if one of you doesn't agree, it's not going to happen, is it? So,
well, hologram technology wasn't what it is today, unfortunately.
Yeah. And this was 10 years ago. 2003 was the last tour, so yeah, more. And he never quite understood it. Whenever we met, he would always ask the question, what are we going to do then? What should we do now? And it was hard. I didn't know how to deal with it. And he'd also kind of hurt himself. He'd hurt his head, so his memory had started to go. So sometimes you'd have to repeat the same story you told before. It got a bit hard.
Did it create tension between you, or was it just sad, really, for
I think
him?
It did create tension because, well, in the way that, we'd known each other since he was 17 and I was 18. We'd lived together at various points in our lives. So we're more like brothers than kind of colleagues. And in that kind of relationship, you can have arguments, can't you, that don't mean anything. So we had arguments that didn't really mean anything. And yeah, it was always with a hint of sadness whenever he kind of sort of imagined that we were going to do it again.
Yeah, it really is. But as well, head injuries, there is no rhyme nor reason to how they can affect you afterwards, is it? And they can be devastating to a person, really devastating. Well, listen, there's so many things that I didn't know about you until I started researching this.
Good Lord.
I tell you what.
That hasn't come up, has it?
Well, I tell you what. I tried to get the music. I don't think we've got it because I actually love this track. I'll just say this to you. It has been maybe 20 years since I have heard the name of this band, Zodiac Mind Warp, and the Love Reaction.
Yeah.
You directed a music video for them, is that right?
I did the video for Prime Mover, yes.
Legendary.
Which was...
oh, come on, we have got the
which
music.
involved a nunnery being attacked by Zodiac Mind Warp and his band in tanks.
Do you want to hear a bit? Of course you do. X-ray specs. I came from the sky like a 747, and I fell out of heaven. I can't believe that came back into my life today. And
Zodiac.
I'm very happy.
His actual name was Mark, and he talked like that. Who's from Bradford?
And of course, if you see him in the video, he's full-scale glam rock, leathers, but weird kind of.
I mean,
hats.
I think that was before all that kind of Axl Rose stuff happened, wasn't it? So
it was.
I think Axl might have based himself a bit.
How did you come to be a music video director?
Because with the comic strip, I directed the second Bad News episode in which there was an over-the-top heavy metal kind of video. So they wanted one like that, so I made them one. I made loads actually. I spent a year making videos.
I know you did. You've made some for some really, really very
I made a
cool
few for
people.
Squeeze.
Yeah.
I won the MTV award for the one for Squeeze.
Stop it.
I did, yeah. That was when it was just MTV, not MTV American Europe. We won Best Video for Hourglass. Look it up on YouTube. It's a great video.
See, once I got as far as Zodiac Mind Warp, I just didn't look any further.
Yeah, don't let that be
too busy
the abiding memory of Adrian's career in music videos.
It's my high point, but I'm a bit weird.
Sung with The Who at Hyde Park.
I have, yeah.
Eric Clapton gave you a guitar. I played with Jimmy Page and Ronnie Wood.
Yeah.
Not a bad life.
This hasn't been too bad so far. Yeah.
I mean, no,
we did the first comic relief. It wasn't called comic relief those days, but that's what it turned into. We were doing a kind of theatre gig, and we were, the young ones did the single, Living Doll.
Yeah.
With Cliff, and we had Cliff on one night, and we did the show 3 nights in a row. And one night Cliff couldn't make, so Bob Geldof did it that night. And in the live show, Vivian was playing guitar solo, and I was playing my own guitar. It's a lovely Fender Stratocaster, and it didn't work, couldn't work. So I very carefully, unVivian-like, put it back on its stand because my guitar.
Yeah, you're not going to smash
and
it.
Bob Geldof picked it up and smashed it to pieces. And Eric was doing the same gig, and he said, "Well, I'll give you one of mine." So I'm glad Bob did that, really.
So you have now, to this day, one of Eric Clapton's guitars.
I do, yeah.
What sort of guitar is it?
It's a replica. Well, it's the same thing.
It was a Fender
So
Stratocaster.
He
Fender
knows.
Strat, yeah.
He knows that you have his guitar. Is there? Oh God, I'm struggling to find out if there's another role in the showbiz universe that you would like to have been. But then you've been most of them. I mean, you've been a rock and roll star, as it were. You've directed these, you've wrote books. What is there left for you to be in the firmament? Because you sound like a man, perhaps, who gets bored quite easily and needs to move on to the next thing.
I'm always looking for something to do. And I'm always looking for a job, to be quite frank. It's not all pick and choose, Sometimes it's, thank you, yes.
Short catch.
I've kind of, yes, I have done a lot of things. I've kind of rationalised my life at the moment to be writing children's books. I've just nearly written the second one. And acting. So I'm doing a lot of acting.
Who do you envy the most when you look at someone in your game and you think, oh, wow. Do you have any things like that?
Well, no, I don't think I envy anyone, That seems big-headed, doesn't it?
Yeah, look at you.
That seems very grounded.
I think you'd be weird, wouldn't it, if you envied people? Well, you do look at people and go, wow. I mean, I wouldn't mind having cool. George Clooney's head. Not his actual head, that would be weird and probably illegal.
I play the mandolin, and I wish I was 20 times better at playing the mandolin than I was.
Oh, with your band, the Bad Shepherds?
Yeah.
Yes. You haven't heard this bit yet. He's a fully accomplished musician.
I play a lot. I still play a lot of jigs and reels at home.
And it's such a lovely instrument.
Yeah, and I'm still not good enough. And I'd like to be. I practice for about an hour a day, sometimes more when I'm writing, because I just pick it up and twiddle on it in between thoughts. So maybe sometimes I get 2 hours done a day. And I know from an old fiddle player that used to be in our band that proficiency at any instrument is to do the hours put in. Once you've gone past 10,000 hours, you'll be all right. Even if you know good musically, you'll be good.
So how do you get into the writing frame of mind? I mean, every character I've seen you like growing up, it's been very frenetic, full of energy, but of course you need to be able to sit in one space.
Well, I've been writing now for 40-odd years, and I can tell you that I have no plan. I still don't know how it happens. I know that you have to sit there until it happens, but that's all I know. There's no way through it. Sometimes it works better on your knee. Sometimes it works on top of a bus with a pen and paper. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I wish there was a plan. I read about other writers, going down to the shed at the bottom of the garden and doing their 4 hours, and I just can't do it. I can't do a regular thing. There's too much else going on and my mind gets distracted. So sometimes I wake up at 4 a.m. and get up and write, and I've done my day's work by breakfast. Sometimes I waste the day away and do half a minute just before I go to bed. It's a plague. It's a plague on your brain trying to write.
But is it a need that must be satisfied ever? Is it?
Yes, it is.
It is. Okay.
Yeah. I think if it isn't, then you shouldn't be writing.
It has to come out of you at some point.
You have to need to want to do it. You have to know what you're trying to do, even if you can't do it.
You're listening to Adrian Edmondson. It's our pleasure to have his company, and yours too, I hope, for the next 15 minutes or so.
It's my pleasure to be here, to be talking to you.
It's all rather wonderful. And that's another thing I didn't know about you.
My mum would be proud.
You lived all over the world as a child.
I did, yeah. My dad was forces. He was a teacher, but he taught RAF kids and Army kids and Navy kids, and we lived in Cyprus, Bahrain and Uganda.
And you say you were a bronzed Adonis as a young boy?
Well, I
was. Then you became
this
a teenager.
is true, yeah. My first sort of 7 years were in Cyprus, and I moved school every year, and my hair was so blonde and beautiful that I played the Angel Gabriel 4 times in a row. Oh, and the third time we played it, my mum kept the wings, thinking, well, you'll get it next year.
Moving schools so much must make you very resilient.
It's a weird thing, isn't it? I don't know why they do that in the forces. They seem to move you every year. Yeah. Bizarre things happen. Jennifer and Dawn were stationed in Cyprus at the same time I was.
Really?
So we were all there in Cyprus together because their dads were both RAF.
I didn't know that.
Jennifer and Dawn went to one school and left, and then Jennifer went to the same school and became the best friend of the best friend Dawn had just left.
So you're all connected. From Cyprus, from many, many moons ago. Jennifer Saunders, of course, for anybody who doesn't know, Adrian Edmondson's wife. We're going to keep talking.
I thought mine was Dawn French. Right.
Just check that before you go home.
I must move house immediately.
Send your text.
I'm sorry, darling, I've got the wrong wife.
Why didn't you tell me? This is classic English politeness.
We're going to keep chatting to him. It's
32 years.
You're listening to a BBC 5 Live podcast.
If you like this, you might also like this.
Kermode and Mayo's film review.
If you don't know your app from your elbow, boom tish, here all week, tip your waitress.
To find out more about our range of podcasts, click, tap or swipe bbc.co.uk/5live.
Adrian Edmondson is with us for the next 15 minutes.
Future Doctor Who.
Future Doctor Who.
Just putting that out there.
Come on.
Yeah, well, Star Wars today, Doctor Who tomorrow.
There's some
Doctor
people.
What?
Well, there's
you
some.
could have a brother.
Some BBC producers are regretting not getting you to sign an NDA on Doctor Who, clearly. As you've just given the game away, you're going to be the next Doctor Who. Well, Adrian Edmondson, the next Doctor Who, let's get that trending on Twitter, is with us. So we've covered so much of what you do. I want to kind of get involved in the cooking part of your life.
Cooking.
Since winning Celebrity MasterChef, what was it, 4 years ago?
I think it was, yeah.
Les Dennis, Janet Street, Paul too.
I feel being MasterChef champion isn't quite what it's about. I mean, I beat 15 other slightly low-grade celebrities.
Not true. That is such.
I can make a better shepherd's pie than Les Dennis.
Well,
I think that's
you done.
basically what I
do you remember what was your winning dish at the end?
Oh, it was a kind of butterflied fillet de sea bass with a kind of a langoustine
here we go.
cream inside it.
Pretty far away from a shepherd's pie.
It was, yeah.
And have you
No, all right, I'm brilliant.
There's no false modesty allowed around here, Adrian. So does that mean then that you are the one that has always taken most of the cooking duties in the house?
I do most of the cooking. Jennifer cooks a lot. She's a very good cook, and I'm a very good cook.
Well,
I think I enjoy it more than she does.
Did your dinner invitations go backwards after winning Celebrity MasterChef because people started to get worried that you'd go, call that a langoustine?
Well, it has actually. Well, it's not that they don't get invited, it's just they're very apologetic. And they serve it. Quite completely unreasonably, I think. You know.
Did you know that you had that? Because it is a thing to win Celebrity MasterChef.
I turned up there thinking, actually, I'm quite a good cook. I should breeze this. And in the first hour, I thought, bloody hell, this is going to go badly. I don't know what to do. I remember the first task, and he had to invent something, and I spent about 10 minutes chopping up an onion because my hand was so full of adrenaline. It was just flopping all over the place like a sail in the wind.
Oh, it's like a bad dream. That's awful.
Are you incredibly competitive in everything that you do?
Well, I don't think I am, but of course I am. You know, it's that way around.
Right.
I don't really crave awards, but I crave everyone thinking I'm the one who should have won the award. I don't know what that says about me.
Can you remember the last occasion that happened?
Oh, nearly everything, you know. I always think people should just think I'm the best.
So writing and acting is the thing at the moment.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the acting, because Holby City became a big thing. You became a huge part of that. And then you got rave reviews as Count Rostov in Tolstoy's War and Peace, the BBC adaptation.
Yeah,
it was only last year.
Yeah.
Very different characters. But how much did you enjoy doing War and Peace?
War and Peace, I can quite honestly say, it was the most enjoyable job I've ever done, I think. I had this kind of fake family around me. I call them fake family. We still all talk to each other. And it was just gorgeous. And we lived in Russia and quite a lot in Vilnius. And my hotel room overlooked the street that Napoleon had come up when he was entering Russia, and the same street he ran away down when he fled with the tail between his legs. Yeah. So I read a lot of Russian history while I was doing it. I just felt completely immersed in the whole thing. And the character I played, Count Rostov, was very much like my late father-in-law. So it was a kind of homage to him at the same time. He was a very nice, generous human being who always saw the best in people, very much like Count Rostov did. Wasn't quite as spendthrift as Rostov, but there you go.
But you're in Genius now as well, which is set to be another huge series. Jeffrey Rush,
I'm in it in a very tiny way.
I know, but still, you're in it.
Yeah.
It's good.
I don't really know. I did a day on that.
It's that day.
So a
day's work.
I don't think that counts.
Oh, well, it counts to me because I love the series.
All right. Is it on already?
Yeah, it started. It's only been on for 2 weeks now.
All right.
But yeah,
well,
but
they didn't tell me.
Well,
that's how small a part I had.
National Geographic, dear. That's who you made it for.
Yeah.
You appear in episode
Who was
7.
Was I good?
I haven't seen you yet, but I hear very good reviews. David Hilbert.
Yeah, David Hilbert, yeah.
That's who you were, German
David
mathematician.
Hilbert is a great mathematician. I did a lot of research on my days filming.
Okay, good.
David
well
Hilbert was this kind of theoretical mathematician, a professor, and he used to run a course at some Heidelberg University, something like that. And one of his students left the course to go off and be a poet. And David Hilbert said about him, "Oh, good, because he didn't have the imagination to be a proper mathematician."
Oh, nice. That's always a nice character.
I think
to
theoretical maths is as exciting as poetry, probably.
Well, theoretical maths. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about, Stoic philosophy, because you were quite angry. You were quite an angry young man.
I've said things and they've been blown out of proportion.
Okay, so you weren't angry, but you read Stoic philosophy and what?
I like Stoic philosophy. It's a very good way of not being angry. Oh, well, you've got me then. All right, I was angry. It is. It's a very good way of not being. I don't know how I came to it. I read an article by a guy called Jules Evans and was prompted to sort of buy his book called Philosophy for Life and Other Dangerous Situations. And the Stoics were obviously a kind of Greek sect of thinkers, and it's a very simple philosophy, really. It says you can only control what you can control. And that's very little. Learn to accept that you can't control everything. If you don't control everything, you can't get angry about it. If someone cuts you up in a car when you're on the road, you can't control them cutting you up. Therefore, don't get angry about it. And if you don't get angry, and you practice this, anger is normally the first response. But if you consciously try, the Stoics think of your mind as a gym. If you constantly practice not being angry when someone cuts you up, eventually your first instinct will not to be angry. And that helps you, because being angry is pointless. Being angry about that kind of thing. There's righteous anger, which you can be. You can be angry about kind of repression and injustice. But ordinary stuff like that is pointless.
You expend a lot of energy, don't you?
Yeah,
Wow.
and
it doesn't help you.
You need this in your life.
I so need this.
Well, who was the guy that we interviewed that wrote the book about, really, like rehashing about Stoic philosophy? We interviewed a guy
That
recently.
must be Jules Evans.
I think it must have been.
Yeah.
It was
He
very,
does a lot
very
of
good.
talks. He runs a philosophical society as well.
Yeah, I think it might well have been him. Either that or it was Sir Peter Bazalgette.
Because he wrote a book about empathy. Yes,
Oh, did he?
Peter
Right.
Bazalgette. So when you're coming up in the showbiz world, and then there's a level of fame that you get when people are offering you lots and lots of work. Then I mean,
I haven't got to that stage yet.
just go and look on your Wikipedia
Lots
page.
of work.
Adrian, it is. I mean, it goes on forever and ever and ever. You have been doing very well indeed in working contests. But
I'm very old.
There is. Well, you've been in the game a long time. I mean, the frustrations that there must be. Is that why you went into this world of Stoic philosophy? Because of the
No, do
frustrations?
you know, I went into it because a lot of people around me suddenly started popping their clogs, and I didn't quite know how to deal with it. And I realised I'd been sort of angry for a long time, and it wasn't helping anyone, And it's not fun being around someone whose kind of first instinct, if things go wrong, is to damn and blast and things like that, So I found it a good way out.
There's some very funny things in it as well for stuff that's written a long time ago. And I happened to look at Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, which is what his thoughts on it long after.
Yeah.
So written, 180, something like that, AD. And one of the great lines from that is, men have come into being for one another, so either educate them or put up with them.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good life
It's very
lesson.
good, isn't it? That was basically just his diary. He wasn't kind of writing a tract.
No.
He just wrote his thoughts down every morning as he got up.
It's something we must all aspire to, you two.
Yeah.
Right,
I'm already there.
You
I'm
two,
already-
not you. You're not involved in this.
No,
I've heard your temper.
I've written my meditations already.
Quite chilled, Sarah is.
I am quite. That's because I've got a great job and a lovely family, so I'm very lucky. It's lovely talking to you, Aid. Really brilliant
thank
talking
you.
to you. No,
Thank
it's been a real pleasure today, and the time has flown in. So listen, good luck with the
Oh,
book.
I'm off.
Yeah,
you're
you-
showing me the door. It's lovely talking to you. Now get lost.
It's not us. It's that your publisher emailed us and said, "Look, you're taking
Enough.
valuable wear time from getting that
He's
second
talking
book."
about gout. Get him off. I'm sorry
Well,
for
I've
that.
enjoyed our
fiction.
chat.
Yeah, it's been
Very
lovely.
wide-ranging.
Thank you very much indeed. Adrian Edmondson and Tilly and the Time Machine is out now, as of today. And as Adrian pointed out on Twitter, you can buy it in all good bookshops and probably some bad ones as well.
On digital and online.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
bbc.co.uk/5live.